Wait! Are you an entrepreneur? Have you started your business and you're struggling to even get customers? Today's conversation is about biashara. Nembesha. I have been in business for the past 17 years. Let me break it down. Somebody will ask me, how have you been in business for 17 years? You just turned 30. Yes, my first ever business was founded when I was 13 years old. I think I was in class Form 1 or Form 2. I can't remember. Form 1? Form 2? I don't know. But then I started selling biscuits and selling sweets. And so I would buy sachets of sweet and sell them back at home. Or when I'm in school, I would buy biscuits boxes. It was called Britannia. So I would buy it at 280 shillings. Then I go to school and sell it at about per piece 5 shillings towards the end of the term. And I used to make money. So growing up, when I finished Form 4, I started my second business, which was a phone booth. I was actually giving people opportunity to call, and I was selling phone spare parts. I think I was still in Form 3. But one thing I've learned with business is that whether back then when I was still doing these menial businesses, and now when I'm now running these other sets of businesses that I'm doing, the principle has remained the same. So in this book, 9 Lives of an Entrepreneur, I've discussed so many aspects of business growth that would help you understand that, listen, business is not easy. That's why not everybody can do it. If everyone could be an entrepreneur, then I can guarantee you everybody would be successful. But let me first of all begin by saying that the moment you choose to be an entrepreneur, you choose to be an outcast. The moment you decide, I'm not going to follow the same path, go to school, get a good job, and then get married, I will create an ecosystem that helps me make money and build generational wealth. The moment you make that decision, the society will punish you. I got that from a friend, from a wonderful man that I listened to, Vusi Temakwayo. He said, you are actually supposed to be arrested and put to prison because as an entrepreneur, you're going to face moments where no one actually understands why you believe in your dream. I have had opportunities where I've been told by the people I love so much that, Reynard, you are not meant for business. Nenda tafuta kazi, you will be able to get a job, you can be a good employee. And I was like, no, that's not what I'm cut off for. And every time I told them that, they would be like, Reynard, you just don't want to, you are stubborn. Listen, as an entrepreneur, somebody who wants to change the way the society works, you have to have a level of stubbornness, because the moment I learned that, it changed my life. So there are certain aspects of entrepreneurship that I want to talk about today. There are 4 things that if you don't have, please get out of business. You're not going to succeed. And allow me today to call them the 3 Ds of success. The first D is called discipline. Ladies and gentlemen, motivation is not going to keep you going. Motivation will kickstart you. In fact, they say that the moment you conceive a vision or a dream or a business plan, the motivation is just supposed to get you started. And listen, it's going to be what we call uninformed motivation and inspiration. You are inspired because you think this is going to work. I want to build a cup that can help people drink water without having to put the bottle in their mouth. And it looks so good and it looks so disruptive. I'm going to write a book that will be a bestseller and it looks so good. I'm going to set up this business and I'm going to change the world. It looks so good. It is not then that the challenge begins. The challenge begins the moment you step out and start doing the thing. That's when you realize you don't need motivation. You need discipline. How many times does entrepreneurs have to just wake up, walk to their offices and sit there and feel sleepy, but you just sit on that desk thinking? I know this because I've been in this field long enough. I've run a formal business setup for the past 10 years. Failing and rising, and every time I fail, I keep moving on. So the first thing you need, ladies and gentlemen, is discipline, because discipline is what is going to make you stay long enough when your idea is not picking up. But I can tell you one thing, that if you stay long enough in this business, it might not be good enough, but if you do it for about 999 days, as my friend Vusi Temakoyo says, you will figure out something that works. You may not, and listen, people say, stay on one thing. No, I want to tell you, stay on one thing, stay on entrepreneurship. You may change the product, you may change the brand, you may change everything. But one thing that has to remain is that you must stay on course. The second D, which is very important, is drive. Listen, as opposed to motivation, drive is the energy that you wake up every day looking forward to an opportunity that will change everybody's life. Some of us are not in business because we want to make money. Because, however, if I was to decide now, I don't want to do business, I want to live on the money that I've saved, the few lands that I've bought. Listen, I would live an average life. I would pay my children's school fee. I would marry 15 wives. I would be able to stay safe for the next 100 years. But why do I keep waking up? Why do I keep waking up, going into an office, stressed and worked out, but I don't give up? I keep going. Why? The answer is simple. It's no longer about the money. There's something driving me bigger than just the money. I want to do it for someone. I want to do it for someone who is about to give up like you. I want to wake up and build Matmon, not because Matmon is going to change my life, but so that one day you'd look up and say, hey, I am starting my own business. And if Reinhard didn't give up, I will not give up. Statistics shows that majority of businesses dies within the first 3 years of their conception. And you're not going to be the first person who's going to make your business fail. If you've made it this far, it means you're an entrepreneur and you are looking to get your business back to the next level. In this book, I talk about business and entrepreneurial motivation for entrepreneurs on the verge of giving up. I know you might be thinking, oh, Reinhard, man, you don't know what I've gone through for the past 6 years. Listen, stay there. It's about to give up. It's about to kick up. Oh, Reinhard, man, I have debts, I have loan, I've not paid my rents, I've not paid the salaries of my workers. Stay there. Because if you go, you're going to go with your worker's salary. Sometimes we wake up to come to work not because we have the motivation to do it, but because there are some salaries we need to pay at the end of the month. And if we don't pay them, we owe people. Sometimes we don't give up because we know that if we give up, there's a generation lined up behind us. Some of us were not born wealthy. We didn't come from wealth, but we said we were not going to die broke. We are not going to leave this world and the way we found it. Our fathers might not have fought in World War II and might not have been the Kenyattas, but we refuse to let our children walk into airport and they be stopped because they are being suspected of terror. My name and your name could save our children one day. When they walk into the airport and they answer to your last name, someone looks at them and say, oh, you're Reinhard. Hey, just pass. That's my motivation now. And the last D, have a destination in mind. Most of us start businesses because of money. Listen, money will come. I love the finance minister for Uganda. He says, my friends, money will come. Money will come. And when money starts coming, the question is, will you stop driving the agenda? Some of the companies that have lasted more than 150 years were not built on just the concept that, we want to make money. Let me give you an example. Samsung. I use a phone called Samsung. But one day I read the story that actually Samsung was not started as an electronic company. It was started as a grocery company. That Samsung used to sell grocery, magnificent. But the founder of Samsung did not end it there. He had a destination. He knew, I will dominate the global market. And I would go forth and build it. He may not have lived to see that vision. He may have died before Samsung got to what it is now. But I'm sure wherever he sleeps and wherever he's resting, he looks down to his generation and is very proud of them. What about Tata? Tata, the mega company, it was not started to do the great things it's doing now. So listen, maybe your brand might have started as just a person selling nothing in the street. Maybe you don't even have a product. Maybe you don't even know what to start from. But do you have a destination? Do you believe that 150 years from now, we will still find your brand as one of the major brands? Will you be the next Coca-Cola? Will you be the next, global market disruptor? For you to do that, you need to have a destination. You need to know in your mind, at the back of your mind. And listen, some of us, the only difference between us entrepreneurs and the rest of the world is that we have the ability to see the future in our current circumstance. I may be broke, not having money in my hands, but I can see 5 years, I can see 10 years, I can see 150 years. I can see my company building and changing people's lives 150 years from now. And in order to do that, you have to learn the concept of flexibility. As an entrepreneur, you cannot be rigid. Seasons will come where your product is not going. But what if you build another set of products? What if you try another set of marketing skill? What if you build a new team? Because how many times have we fired our entire team until we are left alone in the company? I did that a few months ago. And I was left alone because I realized the team I had was stealing from me. They had very bad things going on. What did I do? I fired everybody and I started again. That's the power of an entrepreneur. Because we can always build. And as I finish this video, I would like to introduce you to a definition of an entrepreneur that you learned in high school. It says, there are people who identifies opportunities, gathers resources to build around it to solve problem. Question, is your idea solving a real problem? And is that problem big enough to cash in money into your accounts? Because Facebook solved the connectivity problem and billions of dollars have gone into them. Nvidia have solved chip making problems and reduced computers, and Microsoft and all these companies have reduced the power of computing, and billions and trillions of dollars have gone into their accounts. Question, is your idea solving a problem, or are you in business because you want to make money? Because as I said, money will come, but what will keep you going? Until next time, cheers.